Hello, and welcome to Recent Activity, your new favorite entertainment review podcast that attempts to cover every film, every show, all at once. I am your co-host, Andrew Morgan. With me, as always, fresh off his stint at Juniper Hill Asylum, it's Shane Beauregard. How are you, sir?
I'm doing well, buddy. Good to be here. Can't wait to get into this.
Yeah, smile and a bow in your hair and, just skipping along, living in Derry, Maine, living your best life, man.
Oh, jeez. Absolutely.
I mean, I've not been to your neck of the woods in Carolina, but I know it feel like I envision you almost in like a Derry situation because you're like you have modern living, but you also are like kind of a little out of the ways.
There are some similarities. I'm not going to lie to you.
Well, you're near an airport, so if there's any kind of like Army stuff that needs to fly in there, some secret projects, that might be the place.
It honestly, God, it is. We do Air Force One. We'll do some touch and goes because we have like a really long runway here. So we do have a lot of military activity just right next door to my house.
I remember when I didn't work from home anymore, and I worked in an office. By the office was a helipad that was across the water, and you could see I saw Barack Obama get off of a helicopter, whatever that is, Hella One. I don't know.
Yeah,
I'm hoping it has some cool copter one. What do they call that shit? I don't know. Yeah, get to the chopper one. But yeah, that was pretty cool. That whatever big time celebrity, if they're coming in from New York or something, like a lot of people will just drop in the helipad. So it's a pretty fun time.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. Well, good to see you, sir. Happy early holidays. We're getting into the full swing. We are recording this on the 15th, so only 10 days for your Advent bitches to get ready for Christmas. Or if you celebrate Hanukkah, it's in the swing of that too. So, that's fun too. Night 2 as we're recording. So a lot going on. I was at a Christmas Cops double feature put on by Connecticut Cult Classics over the weekend. That was fun. I'm getting more into the spirit. Shane, I've actually started listening to my Christmas playlists, when I'm home, I'm in the shower. I'm like, I need to hear Christmas Time in Hollis, Queens. I need to hear all the staples. And then saw Die Hard 2 and Lethal Weapon as a double feature on Saturday night. So that was pretty cool. Are you feeling more into that too before we get into the scary non-Christmas stuff?
I am. A little late in the season. I always like to give Thanksgiving its due, and I don't like to break the Christmas stuff out till that passes. So like you, I can't believe it's next week. But yeah, I am fully in the Christmas mode now. Not listening to music yet, but movie-wise, yes.
Yeah. I only just started doing that. I feel like it's a good thing to when I'm rolling around and I'm buying the last minute gifts and all that stuff. It's good to have that kind of click-clacking around. So yeah. I need to hear the non-traditional ones that they play, that they don't normally play in Walmart or whatever, the mall as I'm walking around. So I like my Father Christmas, the Kinks, the Elton John one, a lot of the ones that they don't play a lot anymore. So I like to dig that. And my favorite new one is Little John featuring Kool-Aid Man.
Oh my God.
It's an amazing new, it's just so stupid because it's Little John. So it's, it's just hard, crunk style rap shit, but it's Christmas time. It's hilarious. Seek that out. I enjoy it very much. But what I also enjoyed, Shane, is a little show called Welcome to Derry that you covered when it premiered back, God, it feels like forever ago, because it was right before Halloween, or was it?
Yep.
Was it that night?
It was a week before. The first episode was a week before Halloween, and then they dropped the second episode on Halloween.
That's what it was. And I was like, I'm going to catch up. It'll be a fun night to do that. Never did it. So I've waited until I inhaled the whole series over the weekend, and we are going to cover it because they just had the season finale last night. So this is fresh takes right off the dome because, man, I ingested 8 episodes of it in 2 days, and it is worth the effort. We will get there in a sec. The plot for this one, if you don't know, if you've not been paying attention and you're an It fan, I don't know who you are, but I'll try to recap in some ways. This is in 1962. A couple with their son moved to Derry, Maine. Yes, that Derry, Maine, Stephen King land. Just as a young boy disappears. With their arrival, very bad things begin to happen in the town. You have a combination of Major Leroy Hanlon and his family coming into town, where there's a secret government project that this guy is working with these majors and these people above him, that he's the man with no fear who's gonna handle this project for them. And of course, as you know, because it has to deal with Pennywise and the lore behind him, where he is in Derry, the whole nine. And there's a lot more to this universe now, Shane, that they've really opened up. And I know when we first spoke about it, you talked about the premiere, and I remember you said that you enjoyed yourself and that you were going to keep following this along, but that Pennywise really wasn't in it yet. He really he doesn't appear until, I think, in full force, probably like episode 5.
Yeah.
Maybe. But obviously with bits of it, or if they did flashback stuff where it's not Pennywise per se, there's some other stuff tied into the character of Pennywise versus whatever it is and all those things. So I will just toss it to you, because you've been following this the whole time. And you're going week by week. You've been doing it, like,
Yep.
not inhaling it like I did, batch style at all. So I got to say that I found this show to be incredibly effective. I came into it not fully caring because I liked it. It Chapter 2 was a letdown for many people, especially because it was tonally inconsistent and not as good as the first. So I didn't know what to expect here. But I will tell you that I am surprised at how much I like this show. So where are you, especially now that the finale hit, where were you when you were heading into the finale? And then how did the finale turn out for you?
Yeah, I was on board from the first episode because it was such a good first episode to draw you in. And you're right, we didn't see Pennywise in his full form till it was episode 5, I believe. And I was okay with that, like, because the story and the kids and the cast and just everything worked for me. But heading into the finale, I was super hyped because that episode 7, the Black Spot, was one of the best. Yes, it's one of the best TV episodes I've ever seen. So you know how people talk about, this one show. It was phenomenal. It felt like a movie in its own. It was great.
Yeah.
So I was like, how are they going to top that? Now, the finale didn't quite top episode 7, but it was pretty close.
Yeah.
It was pretty close. So hats off. Like, I love the lore and mythology they expanded in this universe. I was fully engrossed in everything. The only storyline that I kind of didn't like was when we found out by the general what he wanted to do with Pennywise or it in that form, and it just didn't make it.
It doesn't
didn't
track
land
really
for me.
Yeah,
it doesn't really track. But man, the cast of kids they had in this one, except for Ronnie, I couldn't stand her character. I was hoping she would die at some point.
I had similar feelings. It's so hard because at times she's crappy for valid reasons, or she's the one who's going through some of the most stuff. But I will say it's weird that as the season progresses, they make it more about the 3 young girl characters and them together. I'm just like, man, I like a lot of them. I'm like, I hate them right now. Like I didn't hate them all, and they're really good. But at the same time, I'm like, oh, this is what I'm working with. Interesting.
Right. I love the Dick Halloran character.
He was so great, and especially a guy I don't
good.
remember seeing him in much because I didn't watch Gotham that much, and he's obviously a big part being Lucius Fox. That's Chris Chalk. Is the guy who plays Dickie Halloran. And then, of course, for anybody who is a Stephen King head, you kind of can, put some things together, and then they make the overt connection to it in the final episode with that as well.
Which I thought was kind of slick. Like, I'm going to work at a hotel. How bad can it be? Yeah,
yes.
like, I like that. But going back to episode 7, man, you want to talk about pulling heartstrings? Like, I broke down during that episode.
I cried.
Like,
I cried with Richie.
With Richie on the top talking about the night, and they also save maidens and stuff. I I couldn't believe they did that.
I couldn't believe it.
For him to pop up in that last episode and give Pennywise the finger as he's running by him, it was such a great moment, man. But
it was. And the funeral scene and everything else, like between him and Howard talking to his parents and the whole thing, like it's emotional. And you don't know how impactful these characters are until it happens, and you just start like getting, big feelings, and it's like, wow, I can't
Richie
believe
was
this.
like he was the guy. Like, I love that scene where he takes over the drums and he's playing with the band, and I thought it was like the coolest.
I laughed more at
thing.
that. I was like, look at this kid, and he's getting what'd they call him? Army Coca-Colas? What'd they call him? Like when he orders the Cokes, but they give him with alcohol in it, and it's like, whatever. Yeah. So I was like, that's interesting. But no, I agree. Episode 7 is a truckload to the system between the burning building, Richie, Pennywise and Ingrid having their standoff, Pennywise's origin stuff in the beginning of the episode, the Pennywise monster sawing a dude's head in half and eating it.
Yeah.
Like, that's the other thing about this show, too, and you could talk about that as well. The horror stuff, especially early on, before even Pennywise becomes Pennywise, is legit messed up. Like the one where he comes through, I believe, the vagina, if I'm remembering correctly. He comes at like while the girl's in bed, and then comes out and is like pretending to be a monster out of there. Yikes. That was crazy. And then there was one around that same time. There was and even the movie theater one, where, by the way, also this show has real stakes. Like, it's so funny that I won't watch other shows where I'm like, oh, this has child endangerment. I don't know if I can handle this. So now watching where it's like kids are just getting murked and kidnapped left and right, where I'm just like, yeah, whatever. This is cool. But man, I agree with you. Like, there is so much for if you're a Stephen King head, or if you're just into this franchise. Like even The Fog, you're just like, oh, so this is The Mist. This is interesting. Or, there's so many connections. Like, and then obviously they make the more overt ones as the episode wraps up, because they're trying to connect the universe. They're trying to start a season 2, which was already greenlit, I believe.
Yeah, already greenlit. In fact, it came out today that said he said he has a 3-season story arc for Welcome to Derry. So,
all right, I don't know if I want to jump to this already, because here's the thing. This is one of my favorite seasons of television I've watched all year, and one of its the most effective. And there's so many great storylines. I think when we first started this, I was listing off a lot of the stars of the show. And I was just like, oh, it's a pretty good cast, but like it's not a lot of like big names. Like I wonder, besides obviously Skarsgård returning as Pennywise, which is not like, he's excellent. This might be his best version of the It, because he has more to work with and different versions. But man, everyone is so good. And the fact that they get this many excellent kid performances is absurd. Like, they're just, it's reminding me of the NBA. I watch a lot of the NBA, where you're just like, man, where's all this talent coming from? Where it's like, you got like these 18-year-olds that are like all-stars, like first team All-NBA or something, where it's like, good God, like the Wembanyamas. Like, they found like 5 Wembanyamas in this thing, you know what I'm saying? Where it's like, what the hell? There's a Chet Holmgren here. There's a, it's like all these like amazing, just elite athletes, but obviously actors in this sense. But like, I could see these kids, and they obviously have some history, but yeah, all these kids like just coming out being amazing, even if they're annoying, which we mentioned. Like, they're not annoying like watching Obi-Wan, whereas like the young Princess Leia, where I wanted to punt her into the sky because she was so annoying. These, they're not annoying for those purposes. It's mostly because of the writing, to where it's like they're situationally annoying, and maybe too frequently, too fast, to where it gets a little much. But it's just so impressive between just the level. I thought in here, and you could speak to this, is like the amount of great kid actors and how this is set up. Do you think it's just perfect timing that it's like happening right as people were gearing up for Stranger Things, that we have another one that's like set in a older, like it's a period piece. It's got extra layers to it. It's got great young kid performances. And it kind of reminds you of that feeling that you got when you first watched Stranger Things.
Yeah, no, exactly. And I read a lot about that after this episode. Like after the finale, they were comparing it to Stranger Things and all the connections and similarities. And I agree, but and the performances were great. Like, but with this storyline too now is that we learned that Pennywise sees time different than we do. So apparently he's able to time travel,
Yeah.
So which I don't know how I feel about that, but being that now, like, they can do more with this second season, or I don't know where they're going to go, but it opens up the door for possibilities as far as like more storylines and things of that nature. But I thought that was interesting when he was talking to Marge there at that scene in the last episode where we revealed that she, that
seemed very pointed.
It did.
I'm like, do we need to do this? But yeah.
Right. So, I don't know where they're going to go, but you're right. The kid performances were just insanely good. And my favorite is Marge. She was probably my favorite. Will. Like, I liked Will and Marge.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Which, again, is why I hated that Will got sidelined so much towards the end, because I thought he was, like, one of the stronger performances all the way through.
Yeah, I did too. I'm saying as far as, like, scare horror moments, this had a lot of them, and they're very effective. Like, I just thought they did a really good job with that aspect, along with the CGI kind of got wonky once in a while, I thought.
Yeah,
but
I agree.
Yeah, it didn't really take me out, but yeah, it was kind of noticeable, especially like in the last 2 episodes.
I mean, listen, it's so hard. I never want to tell people to shoot a lot more at night, but the CGI, like it's still, no matter how much we've progressed, CGI just works so much better at night. And you could tell those night sequences are like flawless. Like the graveyard scene was excellent.
I was about to bring that up. Yep.
The episode 7, the fire, stuff was excellent, especially outside of the fire itself. Like those standoffs we saw at the end of that episode. There's so many like excellent sequences, and then they obviously did a redux version of how the fire with the smoke and the everything. Instead, now you get the mist mixed with them being on the ice and going towards the tree that they needed to utilize at the end. So they used it very well when it mattered most. And the ones that didn't quite line up is like, okay, you went for it. That's fine. I didn't need everyone to be a home run, but it's just so impressive for how many episodes. They didn't do the Stranger Things where it's like, because we have a budget here, we could do all this. Like, they never were like, let's make an 1.5-hour episode. Let's make an 1:45 or have a 2-hour finale. They just were like, hammer that hour, bam, 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 every single week. And it's the beauty of HBO.
They sure did.
Yeah.
They sure did. This show is very bingeable. And like you said at the top, I think a lot of us were let down by It Chapter 2. I thought this show made up for it in spades. Like, totally. This is what I want. Skarsgård, I love that, his backstory on why it took his form. Like, I just thought that was really good.
Yeah.
And kind of sad, So, man, this show was a home run through and through.
Yeah, I was so surprised. I just didn't think I was going to lock in. But the beauty of it, I just don't think it wastes a lot of time because it has so many storylines in it that they really just went for it. Between the kids that you start with aren't necessarily the ones you end with, and having, like I said, real stakes, real things happen. It's not just like one kid goes missing and that's the whole story for the whole thing. It's like, no, that was the appetizer. Now get ready for dinner and dessert, because it feels like every couple episodes there's some massive sea change that changes everything. And you have, between the government stuff, the stuff going on in school, the changing of the kids, the Ronnie's father and that storyline, which honestly really kind of went, it was like convenient more than it was compelling as time went on, especially the fact that he was, the reason why he like kind of was hiding or couldn't say where he was, I thought was like, okay, I get it. But that kind of went nowhere too.
Yeah. It was probably the worst storyline in this show.
Yeah.
By far.
For sure. But it was enough that it did just enough at times to like divert from the main A plots or whatever, or get you to a location that you needed to confront stuff. I thought a lot about not only Stranger Things, but I thought about the Watchmen series that HBO did. And I thought this was kind of like a nice in-between where it had certain themes for the time period stuff that really hammered home some points and really made it accurate to the time period, especially being in the middle of, small town Maine, but also didn't like go over the top with it or make it all about that. They still made it really centric to here's why we're here. This, the origin story, the what we're going to do, like, and then we'll move on. It's not necessarily just one big thing, Right. So I appreciated that. But the one thing I have for you is I watched this whole season, and I would say to people, if you're interested in this season, maybe you were let down by it chapter 2 and you're just like, I'm out. I would absolutely recommend watching it. And it does help to rewatch though, or at least like what, go to YouTube. If you want to watch it chapter 2 again, watch some like explainer video or something to maybe help you out, to give you some refresher, because it does benefit from a lot of Easter eggs and a lot of things that will probably be going forward with whatever they're going to do with season 2 and potentially season 3. So I think that's worthy. But at the same time, I liked how much that I can watch this season and not have to worry about that at all either. I think it is good on its own. And
absolutely.
And you can make a case, Shane. This is what I want to know from you. I think the stuff that is like about kind of looking ahead or expanding kind of like it as a Stephen King universe, I liked maybe the least of a lot of this stuff, where I was like, no, let's get back to like the actual like emotions and good family stuff you have here and the real like plots you've been feeding this whole time.
Yeah, no, I agree. Because the connections they made, like you said, at the end kind of felt, tongue-in-cheek, almost forced a little bit. I don't need a connected Stephen King universe, to be honest with you. I thought this show, I was, like, again, into the family stuff, into the kids stuff. I didn't need all that other stuff. So I'm kind of like you. I think we're in lockstep for this one.
Yeah, spoilers for kind of the end of this. I would assume if you come to this podcast and we're going to talk about it and the finale just happened, you're probably aware that we're going to spoil some things. So let's just rip off the Band-Aid now and just kind of like get into a few of those points. We can kind of go end and then work backwards. So the last moments of this show, this season, is a woman commits suicide, and what's the demarcation, like 28 years, 20, whatever it is?
Yeah, it jumps.
The feeding cycle?
27, I think it is. So
something like
they jumped to like 1988, it was at the end of this, right?
Yeah, and we're back in the asylum. Yeah. Someone commits suicide there, and Beverly Marsh from It is sitting in the, call it Chapter 1, whatever you want, is at the end witnessing the suicide. Is that supposed to be, what's her face? Ingrid in the hospital. So she's doing the painting and then comes down the hallway. Yep. So it seems like she is tapped in maybe to Pennywise, and it's that time of year again, or that time of it's feeding season about to launch into, and it bleeds into It Chapter 1.
Yep.
So that's the emphasis on that. So that you have that to start with, which is interesting. And I don't know, like the timing is interesting. And then some of the connections, so Marge, you mentioned that conversation she has with Pennywise where, time is a flat circle. He doesn't know what year it is, but he just needs to feed. Poor guy. She is apparently the mother of Bill Hader's character, Richie Tozier. Tozier,
right? Yep.
Yeah. So, which is also the kid from Stranger Things, right? Finn Wolfhard?
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
From Chapter 1. So that they're basically seeing that because Will, I guess, is probably the father to the kid in part 1 as well. So you're basically seeing like the next gen of the survivors' kids stuck around in Derry to fight this thing off in It Chapter 1. So we have that. But then there's the whole conversation about how he can travel back in time to try to go after somebody else. And it's like, oh, it's going to be somebody else's fight. Wink. Like they might as well just, done that to where it's like, oh, that's what season 2 is going to be, I guess, to where, your parents or whatever are going to be fighting off this monster in a different time and space or whatever, I guess, however that works. So, a lot of butterfly effect stuff going on, and Back to the Future stuff going on. And then, of course, like Dickie being Scatman Crothers' character from The Shining, the mention of that and where he's going and seeing how his powers go, I found that to be at least kind of like, oh, that's fun. And then the mention of like the mist and how that works. And it's very similar to how the mist is used in the mist. And yeah, I did you have any other ones that like, because that's a lot of it. And they do a lot of it right at the end. Right. To just kind of hammer like, hey, remember, this is a franchise, instead of just being like, oh, but I was enjoying it. And I'm like, oh, now you kind of marveled this thing, and I'm like, oh, okay.
That's a good way to put it. But no, I think we got everything covered there.
But so, what do you think about it? Though, like, did that is any of that intriguing to you going forward? Is any of it? Are you just like, all right, we'll wait and see? Because to me, I just kind of was like, I don't really care about that stuff, but I also didn't care about this season, and then they proved me wrong. So I'm right. Kind of just going, all right, we'll prove it again. I get,
Yeah, I'm kind of a wait and see. Like, let's see what they come up with season 2. Again, I didn't need all that connectivity. Like, it's cool. The Shining shout out was cool. I thought it was cool, but that doesn't really pique my interest per se. To see where Dick Halloran and because they're talking about they should do a show on. I don't really need to see a Dick Halloran show per se.
Hotel show.
An Overlook Hotel, like a Shining prequel, whatever. We don't really need to see that, but I'm kind of wait and see at this point. But from what he pulled off in this season, he's got a lot of good faith built up in me. So it's
it's going to be interesting to see how they do this because what's the one big issue we tend to have with how Marvel progressed? It was like, oh, yeah, I'm sick of all this multiverse stuff and time travel and all this stuff. It's like, oh, that's exactly what they're going to do now. So it's like, God damn it. I was with you. Why? Why did you do this to me?
But I know. Let's just wait and see, though. Let's not jump to any conclusions. But, they did open the door for that. And I'm like, ugh, more time traveling and multiverses. Like, I'm just over the whole thing.
I know. So would you call this season, I'm trying to think. There's been a few just surprise seasons of television this year. And I think this is like right up there with like the most surprising, like caught me off guard, surprising season of TV.
Yeah, I agree. Because again, this was a show I was looking forward to, right? But I didn't think I would enjoy it as much as I enjoyed it. Like it hooks you in that first episode. And then as it progresses, it's like, wow. This is like from start to finish. This is excellent TV. Like especially episode 7 and 8. Like I was like, holy crap! So this is surprisingly how good it was. Like even though I was looking forward to it, I didn't expect it to hit like this. Just because again, I'm coming off of It Chapter 2. I'm like, we'll see. And man, home run.
Yeah, it felt like a money grab, even for the fact that like it's the same people. So you would have thought I'd be like super excited to be like, oh well, you got these like heavy hitter movie people coming in to make TV. You'd be like, oh yeah, excellent. Like that usually goes well. That's great. But I didn't think it was this. And
no, I didn't think it was this either.
They really went for it. And the production design and like it's just incredible. So I the one thing that it's kind of like the Predator universe stuff where like you have that one brain that's just figuring all this out. It's like almost like Kevin Feige level or whatever. Like it feels like this universe has found their people. But we also have to have in the back of our minds, but It Chapter 2.
Yep. Yeah, no, it's there. And we can't forget about it.
You can't. So maybe he just has to work with the, the Stand By Me level, the kid level version of seeing things maybe instead of going full adult and trying to get comedic and doing all these other things. That was really kind of the ineffectiveness of this It Chapter 2.
Yep.
A lot of it's casting. All of it's casting. And I like a lot of the people who are in It Chapter 2. I just didn't think it kind of maybe fit that exactly. Excellent. Good stuff, man. I'm so glad that you watched the premiere of this and like kind of added to the hype thing for me to get into it and then be able to like binge it this weekend. It was really paid off. You also caught The Beast in Me, which is huge for Netflix right now. And actually what's funny is it was a show that I put on your radar, I believe, because we did like the like shows that we were like most anticipating at some point in like the second half of the year. And I was like, keep an eye on for this one. It's Claire Danes reuniting with like the Homeland people and making this Netflix show that looks like kind of a murder mystery, whatever. And I didn't watch it and you did. Which just totally fits. Perfect.
I know.
So what do you think of it? Because it's still on my list and it's still something that I want to check out, but I've heard mixed things and you really have to like buy into certain aspects to like it. So where were you on it?
Oh, no, this show I put off just for a little bit. And then I, like you suggested it. And then I had a couple clients who were like, you got to watch this show. So watched the first episode and I was kind of hooked from the first episode on. I thought, well, Claire Danes, Matthew Reese. Sorry. Yeah. Matthew Reese and Brittany Snow. But the chemistry between Claire Danes and Reese's character, fantastic. Now, I can see the negative because Claire Danes is playing this author. She's a recluse. She had an incident in her life where she lost her son. So she's divorced from her wife. So you have that. Then you have Matthew's character who plays like this land developer, Niles Jarvis, who moves into her neighborhood. But he has a shady past because did he or did he not kill his wife?
Right.
So they have a back and forth. And when they're on screen together, it is fantastic.
Right.
And I thought his performance was just A-level for this series. Like he just plays this cold, calculated, emotionalist kind of character. And you're riding with him because you're like, did he do it? Did he not do it? But Claire Danes, I will say a negative could be Claire Danes' character in this seems just one note. And just very overbearing, so it could get tiring after a while.
Sure.
But the whole just cat and mouse game that they start developing as the episodes go on. And I honestly thought this was a step up for Brittany Snow as well. Like we've seen her on screen a lot, but like her taking this kind of step up in role, I thought was really good for her. So I inhaled it. Now the ending didn't really land for me, and I'm like, not going to talk spoilers.
Sure.
I thought they didn't land the plane exactly how I thought they were going to land it. It was kind of a little anticlimactic for me personally, but the ride to get to that point was just phenomenal. I mean, there's lots of good plot twists in there. This show is very well written. And again, acting is at A level. So I inhaled this show in the span of like 2 days. Like I just couldn't stop watching it. And it's like 50 minutes an episode. And they kind of they fly by. So
and how many episodes?
8.
Okay.
There's 8 episodes. So highly recommend this show to people who, like me, were sleeping on it for a little bit.
Nice. Those Netflix shows, man. I go from like either I'm like right there first day, like a Stranger Things, and just inhale it or whatever. And then sometimes I'll just like forget it, come back, and you just go, oh, that's why it was such like a big hit. Because I'm like, I can't stop watching this thing. And that's probably what's going to end up happening with this show. It's the same thing like one of my favorite shows of the year, Department Q, where I didn't watch it like the opening weekend. And then once I got into it, I was like, this is so fucking good. God damn.
Yeah, and you're sitting there thinking, why didn't I watch this before? And I'm staring at it every time I put on Netflix. I'm like, oh, yeah, I should start that. And I just like... For whatever reason, we watch so much stuff. I'm like, I'm just going to shelve that for now. I'm going to shelve it for now.
It has so much to do with timing, man. Like, like how many times were we like, holy crap, there's like 3 movies I want to see this weekend, and then add whatever Netflix has coming out, and then add whatever TV show is hot at the time. It's like it just piles on, and then you just suddenly find yourself, you're like, oh man, they blew their load early, and now I have nothing to watch. So. Hoping that, if we get around that like post holidays, I have that week off in between, Christmas and New Year's or whatever, that maybe I can find some time to just binge something. And that I think I'll keep that one on the list to see if I can ride with that. But of course, just to preview, we will be doing our top 5 TV shows of the year next week. So we're going to cover the Fallout premiere as well. So be sure to come back and be into that as well. But so it's interesting to see whether these 2 shows that we've already mentioned are going to be on those lists. So be sure to come back and see if they end up making our list. But there's a bunch of trailers that we missed as well, or that came out, I guess, very recently, I should say, that are things that we're all anticipating, or at least the last one of this one is a you pick, is a Shane pick, because you were loving the first season. I still haven't gotten to that one as well. But so we'll start with Supergirl, because that was the one. I love that there's a movie for next year that's super hyped. There's a few of them, obviously, and a lot of them are the comic book ones. But I love the fact that when I watched this trailer, I watched it with people, because I happened to be in an office around people at the time, and we're all huddling around the monitor, and it's oh man, look at that! Oh cool, it's like this. Oh look, the Krypton blowing up and the moving this. So it's cool to get instant reactions instead of just me watching on my phone and going, huh, and then seeing what you think a week later. So it was cool to get that instant reaction. But so this is the first. It's a teaser for the new film that's coming out this summer, Supergirl, directed by Craig Gillespie, who many would know his previous work, I, Tonya, Dumb Money, Cruella, the Fright Night remake. He's I don't feel like he has a particular style or genre. He's kind of a work for hire. He just likes to make fun stuff in a very specific way. So that's where my brain is taking me. Although if you watch this trailer, it definitely is James Gunn coded. And so it's going to be probably a mixture of styles and themes and thoughts from whether it's, Gunn's notes into what he's doing or trying to make a universe out of this. So you're going to try to match kind of tones and looks. But he's just going to make a fun IP movie. And I don't think you're going to get anything too elevated. I just think it's going to be a quality job. So that's where I kind of have fallen with Supergirl after watching this. But we can get into the nitty gritty. But what were your first impressions of the Supergirl trailer?
Yeah, I thought it was okay. I wasn't overly hyped for it. It did make me want to see this movie a little more. We would have seen it anyway. But It's making me looking forward to it just a little bit more. Because I had to let the actors kind of grow on me as Supergirl. I didn't really like the casting at first, to be honest with you. But it's growing on me now, and the trailer just looks fun, or potentially fun. It gave me Guardians vibes to a point.
Totally. Yeah.
And then we got to see a glimpse of Jason Momoa as Lobo. Yep. So I like that as well. So yeah, I mean, I'm in. I thought the trailer was fine. I didn't think it blew me away. But it served its purpose in the tone that I'm going to get in this movie.
Totally. I like the Blondies Call Me. It makes it a lot of fun. I like, is it a plus or a negative that I'm sitting here going, as long as the movie has enough crypto, the Superdog, I'll probably be happy with it on some level?
Yeah.
Is that bad?
And I think we will. No, because I think we're going to get that. We're going to get a heavy dose of crypto. Yep.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Which, again, all about it. I do have some. Did you have anything that you saw that just kind of was this is a mild, I don't know if it's a red flag, but it's kind of that kind of gives me a little pause. I was hoping that it was going to be more in the Superman universe, on Earth, but I get what they're doing and I'm kind of fine with it. The only thing that bothered me is her doing another fucking IP movie that is Lone Wolf and Cub. It has to have a child in peril that they take under their wing and do the whole thing. That who knows if she has super abilities or has any kind of thing, but I was just oh great. Another one of these. In a way.
Yeah.
It looks fun. I'm with you and all the other stuff, but it gave me at least a yellow flag, orange flag. I don't know if it's a red flag.
We'll go yellow flag. We'll go yellow flag.
Yeah.
I had the kind of the same thought there, because how many times have we seen that? Like, come on, man. Like,
yeah.
But other than that, like, I think it's going to be a good time. I'm looking forward to it. I don't mind that it's not like in the Superman kind of world yet. I just want to see her do her own thing. So
Sure.
I'm on board. June, what it was like June 26th or something.
Yeah. So it'll be close to like 4th of July weekend. So one other thing for me is I didn't notice, and again, sometimes you're pleasantly surprised, but this is another first-time screenwriter job too.
Right.
And while I hear excellent things about Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow that they're basing this on, so at least the source material is helpful, but it is a actress, first-time screenwriter, feature screenwriter in Anna Noguera. She was in Vampire Diaries and a bunch of other TV shows, and now she's writing the script for Supergirl, and I found that to be interesting, especially because, usually like all the big screenwriters will want to work on something in this biggest stage, and I find it interesting that that's where this is coming from. But,
right.
Again, I'm hoping to be pleasantly surprised, but I can tell you definitively when we get to, late June and we get on the mics and it ends up being not as good as we hoped, I'm going to be like, well, here's Exhibit A, here's Exhibit B, let's,
right.
So those things I think are the things that's going to come to roost if this isn't as good as we hope.
Right. And we'll see, because I'm sure when we get the actual full trailer, we'll get a better sense of what's going on. Because I would like to see the full trailer when it finally gets released, instead of this little teaser, minute 12-second teaser.
Especially to see more of Momoa. We only see a glimpse of him. You're really just
Real
trying
quick.
to get a sense of the universe. And to see that it is a post-Krypton explosion that she's on. I understand that there's either like a portion of Krypton she lives on that they kind of survive on for a while, and then there's like another planet that they go to afterwards or something once the survivors have to leave there, or something to that effect. And you're seeing a lot of those locations where people are getting excited, like, oh, cool, I'm glad they kept this version, or we're going to see this version of the Supergirl story, and we're not just going to get kind of the CW version just in a big screen form or whatever. So that'll be cool, but it is a wait and see. I'll want to see more, and especially from the things that we think will truly work, but especially to get more out of what Millie Alcock's personality is for this, besides just drunk teenager or whatever.
Right.
She's supposed to be drunk 20 something or whatever.
Drunk 20 something.
23, I think she said. Like, oh, this is gonna be my year. And it is very poignant where they have that line in there, which I liked, where they say, oh, what's Superman like? And it's like, he sees the good in everyone. I see the truth. So I want to see how that plays out as like a theme in this too. So I like that. So looking forward to that one. Also looking forward to Hijack Season 2, which we loved Hijack Season 1.
Oh, absolutely.
Absolutely. That was one of the surprise hits. That was Apple TV Plus. With Idris Elba at the lead on that one. Now, when that ended and they talked about like, oh, they're going to sign up for season 2, we were like, okay, so is this just a redux like Hijack, but it's another plane gets hijacked or something else gets hijacked or whatever? Is it with Idris Elba? Is it going to be an anthology series or they do versions of a Hijack story with other people? We didn't know. And now we see this, season 2 trailer. It is Running It Back, baby, with Idris Elba, where it's kind of like it's a revenge plot. It involves his wife again. It is hitting a lot of the same notes, but they're on a train, and it's interesting, especially after watching Die Hard 2 on the screen over the weekend. It's like, yeah, they just made Die Hard, but they put it in an airport, and it's effective-ish. It's not going to live up to the original, but if you like what you saw in the first one, you're going to get a lot of the same in the second. And this feels the same. Do you feel like that's what we witnessed
absolutely.
here? Yeah,
absolutely. I mean, just switch it from, like you said, a plane to a train. It's fine. But honestly, like if they give me what they gave me in season 1, I'm on board. So, I mean, they have me. So, I mean, if it's not broke, why fix it? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it does feel like it's hitting a lot of the same notes. But again,
Yes.
if it's on any levels the first season, then I don't care. It's kind of like compared to like Jason Statham movies. Every movie he's in now, it's like someone got taken. Someone got taken, and he's the guy to get him back.
Yeah.
I don't care. Run that back all the time. I'll watch it. Like, I don't care.
I know.
So I'm on board, dude. I'm on board. And you know how much we like Elba. So like, I'm like, just bring it, man. On a train, let's go.
And
next
I believe
do it on a boat. Next season 3, it could be a boat. Like, whatever, man. Like,
you shut your mouth. That's Speed 2 territory. You are going off the reservation. Do not do that.
Sorry.
Pick a new mode of transportation, buddy. Just anything but a slow moving boat. Unless it's on a speedboat or something, then we can start talking. I don't know. On a Sea-Doo, where it's just one guy just in the back going, "Oh, we're all gonna die." Something besides a slow moving cruiser. Cruise control.
Right.
We don't want that.
This hits what? Like you said, what do we say?
January 14th.
14th, yeah.
It's fast. Yeah.
So
I'll take it because this was
Apple
like
coming out of the gate strong again.
Yeah, because this was last year where we had Reacher in like January or something. We were like, all right, let's get all the testosterone out of our system. Let's get back in there when the new year starts to have something to look forward to. So that should be interesting. You also are looking forward to Paradise Season 2, and congratulations to you. Like, Paradise Season 1 seems to have, I think it got either like Golden Globe nominations and maybe even like, obviously the Emmys were kind to them too. So people were digging this all the way around, critical response and people. So Season 2 rolling around. What'd you think of the trailer for this one?
This is one of the shows that I didn't even need to see a trailer because they had me with just how good the first season was and what they set up going forward.
Of course.
But I do, and this trailer I think it was a short one. It was like a minute and 20 seconds or something. But we saw enough glimpses of like what they're going to do, which I'm on board. He gets to explore. Oh God, I don't even want to spoil it, but he gets to explore more based on what happened at the end of the first season. And man, let's roll. I'm so looking forward to it because again, you'll have to listen to our show, but Paradise might have hung around in
because that was early, right?
It was January or February. It was one of the first ones out the gate. Yeah. So you'll have to tune in. But no, I just love the cast. I love just what they set up and just the different blends of genres that they were playing around with. Sci-fi, drama, thrill, like just the whole thing just worked. So let's go, baby.
Interesting. Yeah. I avoided the trailer for exactly what you said. I didn't want to spoil season 1 for myself if I want to try to play the catch up before dropping in on season 2 and catching up with the hype of apparently a very good show for Hulu hanging out there, and especially for them to have a Hulu original that's not
Hulu
FX.
Original.
Like that's it's like one of the rare ones that they have that's actually doing really well. So I'm interested in that. And like we mentioned before, stay tuned for next week for Fallout Season 2 premiere. That comes out 2 days, right? On Wednesday.
Yeah, 2 days, Wednesday.
So we will cover that in our episode next week, plus our top 5 TV shows of the year so far. So much great television. Like, it's going to be a bloodbath. There's going to be shows that I truly enjoyed that are not making the top 5.
It's going to be hard. Like, to me, and we just discussed this before, like, to me, this list is going to be harder for me to make than my top 5 movie list for sure. Because based on what I had in the first half of the year, I don't think those shows make the cut. So we'll see.
It's really tough. So be sure to check in on that next week. Subscribe now so you don't miss that episode and any of our awesome episodes going forward, because we have, of course, like you mentioned, our movie draft that we usually do at the end of the year, trying to draft our favorite movies of 2025. That will be coming up soon as well. We're also going to be covering the final kind of big boss movies for us at the end of the year. You got Marty Supreme, you got Song Sung Blue, you got a bunch of like interesting movies kind of hitting right at the end of the season. I'm curious, Shane, I don't think did you end up catching Wake Up Dead Man over the weekend?
I did not yet.
Yeah, so you got some stuff. A lot of people are out there. They got to catch up on, a lot of the the Oscar movies, which the Golden Globe nominations came out, and it's kind of solidifying maybe what people want to see. So maybe they're catching up with some of the movies that we love from early on in the year now. So yes, please, like I said, subscribe. Be sure to come back in the next few weeks. We have a lot going on. We have a lot going on the socials as well, at Recent Act Pod. If you go to our Instagram feed, especially Shane has been blowing it up with these mini video review takes that he's had. You recently did the Kill Bill Whole Bloody Affair. You had, what else did you have? And you have something coming up. So why don't you tell the people?
Yeah, this week I have the long-awaited sequel to The Brothers McMullen, which is a new Ed Burns movie that's on HBO Max. I'm a big Ed Burns fan. Love his early work. And this one kind of came out of the woodwork. I didn't even know it was coming out. And I'm going to give that a watch, and that'll be in my next video review. But yeah, go back and check on The Whole Bloody Affair. And I honestly can't even recall the other ones I've done so far. But there's
Sean William Scott movie you did, and there was a couple others.
Yeah, there's a couple others on there. I'll have to go back and look. But yeah, there's about 4 or 5 videos out there now.
Yeah, so be sure to check in on those. Like you said, you're going to be dropping a new one shortly, and obviously we got a lot going on here. So be sure to be in on us. Depend on us. We will be here putting out the best stuff, watching everything, just regurgitating our thoughts like baby birds. Just we'll feed you all the stuff that you need, all the nutrients you're going to need to finish out the year strong. So be sure to come back here next week for more recent activity.